With us today is the brand new BS6 variant of the TVS Apache RTR 204V. Now we've finally gotten our hands on the bike after a while, and it is essentially the same motorcycle, but it has been upgraded in a few ways, starting with the design. Of course, you can see right from the headlight, it's got a more aggressive front headlight with larger DRLs, and then it now has these more aerodynamic claw rear view mirrors. And as you get to the fuel tank, which has always been a very nice large fuel tank with a good design, the cowling has been now reworked and it looks a little bit more aggressive, and it also gets more sporty graphics as well. So overall the bike looks very nice on the road and very sporty, of course. But essentially this bike still looks very good. It's a very nice, compact, naked sports motorcycle. And of course the digital instrument cluster also is a nice touch. It still gets Smart X Connect, which is a Bluetooth system which allows you to read all the fantastic information from the machine. So now, of course, the biggest change is now the BS6 engine. Now, we've always loved this engine. It's been a very nice, smooth, refined, sporty engine. And of course, TVS plays on their race DNA. This new engine now gets something called race-tuned fuel injection. Now, what that obviously does is it improves the performance and, of course, the fuel economy. And, of course, it brings lower emissions, which is what the BS6 engine does. Now, there are a lot of changes also to this bike. It also gets something called GTT, which is called glide-through technology. What that essentially does is it allows your bike to coast with you just releasing the clutch very slightly without giving any throttle input to the bike move. Now, actually, this is not a new technology. It can be done on almost any motorcycle. If you're a good rider, you will know how to do this yourself. Just by slightly releasing the clutch, you can move the bike forward without any throttle inputs. So now the TVS Apache RTR 204V has always been a fantastic motorcycle. In fact, when I had the long term 3 years ago, I absolutely loved it. Now with these updates, the bike is even better, giving it better performance and a better overall feel. Now, of course, you would like to compare this bike to the two other competitors in the segment, and that is the Pulsar 200 NS and the KTM Duke 200. Unfortunately, we're still in a lockdown and it's very hard for us to get our hands on those bikes. But instead, we're going to do something a little different today. What we're going to do is we're going to bring in a different bike that was also, by the way, the Indian Motorcycle of the Year award winner last year, and that is none other than the Hero Xpulse 200. And Divyank has been riding it for a few months, and he's also the owner of the previous generation Apache 200.
So the Apache, because I'm the owner, I'll be a little biased towards the Apache obviously, but my experience with the Xpulse has also been really rewarding. I mean, it's an absolute head turner, but the Apache's performance is truly amazing for city riding.
But let's say someone who is into off-road riding, of course, you know, they would obviously prefer to go for this bike. And someone who likes to ride a bit more sporty and fast, who likes better handling, they would go for this one. But what about someone who's in between, who likes both? Now, how would they choose what to go for? Would it be something they could have a good sporty time with in the city, or something they can go on nice off-road trips as well with the Xpulse?
So my take on this is that if you face a very rocky road during your daily commute, so you're obviously better off with the Xpulse because of its better suspension, more ground clearance. But if you want a sporty bike with really good acceleration and performance, then of course you're better off with the Apache.
But what about comfort levels? I know, of course, I just did a 500-kilometer day trip with this last weekend. In fact, the first one after the lockdown. And it was a very nice bike, but slightly uncomfortable. This bike, the seating position is a little bit more ergonomically friendly. It's got more room, a little softer seat, higher handlebars. So it does seem like this could be a better tourer.
So because I've done long touring on both the bikes, my experience has been that the Apache, because of its wider and softer seat, is obviously more comfortable for longer duration riding. But the Xpulse, if you take it for a long trip, then your back and your bottom is going to hurt after a while.
But in terms of overall refinement and quality, I have to personally say that the Apache definitely stands high and above the Hero Xpulse. This bike certainly has great quality, and the value for money you get for this is absolutely amazing. This is 1.2 lakh Ex-showroom approximately, and this is, I believe, 1.1 Ex-showroom. In overall versatility, I'll have to give it to the Xpulse for sure. Now, I'm the kind of guy who likes to do a bit of sport riding and a bit of off-road riding. And I'm also the kind of guy who's always been, in doubt about which bike to buy. Do I want a nice sporty bike, or do I want something that can take on rough roads and also go on some nice adventures on? Certainly, it's a tough choice for people like us because both bikes in their own right have pros and cons, of course. But really, it all depends about your style now. Now, Divyank prefers to ride a little bit more sporty. And even though I like to go off-roading, I still have to say within the 200cc segment, even though this is a wannabe enduro and this is more or less a naked sports, I would still lean heavily more towards this bike because, again, the value for money is absolutely amazing. The technology involved is also absolutely amazing. This is the BS6 model. This one is not the BS6, this is the BS4 model. Overall, if you had 1.2 lakh rupees, he's already an owner, by the way. He's already bought the bike. So you would obviously go for this bike once more again, right?
I mean, sure, there is a 15,000 rupee difference in the ex-showroom cost of both these bikes. But then again, the quality and the kit that you get with the Apache, it just ranks better than the kit that you have on the Xpulse. Having said that, both of these bikes are iMotive winners. So there's no doubt that both the bikes are genuinely good.
But I also have to mention that Hero offers the rally kit for this motorcycle. And in my honest opinion, if I were to get that rally kit on this bike for a little bit more money, I would definitely go for the Xpulse. It looks much better and it seems much more capable. And of course, looks just outstanding. It's an amazing enduro looking motorcycle. I haven't ridden it yet, but just based on its looks and riding this motorcycle, if I had the money, I would definitely go for the rally kit on this. What about you? Do you think the rally kit version seems a little bit more promising than this if you would go for that?
So the rally kit is a good option for the Xpulse, no doubt. But then I would still stick with the RTR 200.
Okay. So the Apache also gets a lot of technology, including dual channel ABS. And I think from what I felt, they work quite well.
Because the Xpulse has a single channel ABS unit, it's a little more conventional. The Apache RTR 200 on the other hand has a dual channel ABS, as Jared mentioned. So obviously the braking feel between the Xpulse and the Apache RTR 200 is very different. But the ABS, as Jared said, works really well on the Apache. And another highlight on the Apache RTR 200 is its ART slipper clutch. I mean, because of it, the downshifts are supremely smooth and even first-time riders will definitely feel the difference.
If you do have a difficulty deciding what kind of bike you want in the 200cc segment, this, in my opinion, is the best bike in the 200cc segment, and there is nothing else like this in the 200cc segment, so therefore they are both very unique machines in their own right again. This bike obviously has higher quality, better performance overall. This is more of a niche product. So Divyank, as an owner and someone who's ridden the bike, again, I'm going to have to ask you, what is the better option?
So just to summarize it in an easy way, if you face a lot of traffic during your daily commute or you travel more frequently with a pillion rider, then of course you're better off with the Apache RTR 200. But if you want something that looks a little offbeat, has a brawny appeal and you want to turn heads on your way, then there's no better option than the Xpulse 200.
Well, that about sums it up. It all depends on you guys now. If you are in doubt about what kind of motorcycle you want in the 200cc segment, of course, India has so many options now. The market is expanding. So Divyank, thanks for your inputs and hopefully you can help some guys out there. So there you have it, guys. If you have any questions or comments, make sure to put them down in the comment section below. And if you want to read a full, in-depth, detailed review about this, you can always go to www.autox.com and make sure to like and subscribe to this video.